What's going on, everybody? It's Dot Bets. We're checking back in. We got our on the dot Genesis Invitational PGA live stream coming at you guys here on a beautiful Tuesday night. We will, as always, with my man Bet with the Boys, aka Teaser Nation. How are we feeling this evening, buddy?
Good, man. Finally got some profit off the waste management. Pretty much another long shot win, but I know some more people that were on them this time than what we have seen. It wasn't really too much of it. It wasn't a no-brainer, but I mean, some people were on Nick Taylor, but it was a good finish. I honestly thought Hoffman would win just to keep that long shot that no one's on streak going, but overall it was good. Got a couple top 20s tournament matchups. I know a lot of people didn't see the card, but if you're watching, hit me up in the DMs. I got the VIP card again going this week. Kind of don't want to miss out. We're gonna get on a roll with these signature events. So
yes, sir. And shout out to Rudy Betta, who left a comment last week and basically called Charlie Hoffman top 30 for plus 450.
Oh wow!
I was like, man, those are some crazy numbers. So kudos to him. Hell, if you probably took us outright, that'd have been sick. So shout out to Rudy. Appreciate you tuning in. And we also had our biggest audience for the Waste Manager. We had over 200 views on YouTube alone, which is wild to us because, we just do it because we enjoy talking about golf every single week and dissecting it and hoping you guys enjoy it. So it's nice to see that we have grown, and it's nice to see that everyone is enjoying the content. So appreciate you guys tuning in each and every week. We'll be here every Tuesday night. And if you're here on YouTube, hit that thumbs up while you're at it. And then if you're on X, hit that repost button. That would be awesome. 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 So let's just briefly recap the wasted Open, because it was just a disaster of an event wise for publicity, security, all types of stuff. They just could not control this crowd. What did you think of that?
I mean, it's good, I guess, for golf in certain ways, but it was a little out of control this year. But I mean, people were having fun. I mean, just like us too. Like I prefer going to a golf event and kind of just enjoying it. But I don't know how you can enjoy it when you're falling on the ground all over yourself. But no, it's always one of those things with the waste management. I mean, it gets views. At least it gets views for the game of golf, and hopefully more people kind of tune in each week. Because I mean, luckily it was a good finish too as well, so people kind of got their money's worth with that. But
I think they're definitely going to have to make some changes. Where
it was a little wild this year more than others.
The the frat boys and everything like that coming and absolutely having a shit show. I think they're going to clean that aspect up, have it a little bit more of an elegant event where you can come and get rowdy, but obviously keep it in check. Because I think it angered. I mean, you saw it angered a bunch of people. So you had Zach Johnson and Billy Horschel getting into a lot of people. So you've seen that. It was interesting to see. It just got kind of crazy at the end where I was like, man, this is. And then also the scheduling of the whole thing. The weather didn't help. The frost didn't help. And then all of a sudden the playoff holes and the finishes are in Super Bowl, and then like nobody watches. So it was I think overall it was a great weekend for the PGA, but still it left a sour taste in my mouth by going into the Super Bowl and then having all that other craziness along with it. But nonetheless, it was still an exciting event. I took if there would be a hole-in-one on round 3. Scotty came the closest, didn't get it done for me, but man, it was a good. I thought it was a good bet, plus 700.
Yeah,
just couldn't get it done.
No, it was a good tournament too. It was pretty entertaining. I mean, I had Burns outright, kind of a little sweat there, but I mean, Hoffman and Taylor kind of ran away with it. But I'm still waiting on a big time player to get a win here. I don't know, man. I don't know when it's got to come this week, right? It has to.
Yep, I was upset because I had Knapp for a top 20. He's top 10 all damn weekend long, and then all of a sudden Sunday comes and he just went down the drain. I think he finished top 30, but did not cash. It was like plus 400 or 500 or so for me. So I was hoping to come through, but didn't. So we are on the verge. We are on the verge of getting our first outright of the year. And speaking, now we have another signature event here with the Genesis Invitational, very prestigious event here with who making his return, Tiger Woods. So I already know how I'm going to treat Tiger this week. More of, I'm glad he's there. I'm glad he's participating. Great for the game of golf. But please do not bet on that guy. Please don't. Just do not waste your money. Look somewhere else. Just move on. Are you in agreement there?
Yeah. I mean, when he first came back from the injury and stuff, there was so much hype and everyone's betting. I think on him, I think it's kind of calmed down a little bit. I mean, there's still going to be bets on him, but I mean, at some point, it's kind of like, all right, like it's a good story, but I mean, we just got to see. I don't think he's going to really contend his first time back. It's as how good he is, or how good he has been. It's just going to be tough. Just it's not even just the injuries itself. It's just he hasn't played 4 rounds of golf consistently for a year or even more than that. So people forget that it's hard on your body too, just walking 4 days up and down hills. So
yeah, he's plus 11,000 for a reason. Don't text your buddies and say, "Oh man, Tiger Woods plus 11,000. It's a lot. You got to get him in. He'll never be higher." Just don't. Just
if you want to take a make the cut's really the only bet I would do on him, because he's not going to get. If he makes the weekend, I don't see him doing much. He'd probably sneak in and make a cut, but that's about it.
With these signature events, I think this cut's a little bit different. I don't think there is a true cut, but I think there's maybe the bottom.
Is there no cut?
On the signature events, there usually is. I saw something with there could be 3 or 4 players that potentially could not make the cut or some odd reason. So if someone's in the chat and knows have a little bit more clarity on that, let us know.
Maybe because last year it wasn't a signature event, right?
Yeah. No.
Oh, okay. So maybe you're right then. Yeah.
So, but I believe that there's some stipulation that some bottom 4 couldn't do it. So or won't be able to move on. But all right. So if you haven't tuned in before, we basically discuss throughout our outrights, our placements, kind of who we're eyeing. We don't give out official plays in the stream. It's more of us dissecting the slate, what we see some value, what guys we're not on. We do have our official plays are posted. I post mine Wednesday nights. So does Teaser. He's also in Bet with the Boys Discord. So make sure you guys, if you want his VIP plays, to join that Discord. If you want my matchups, I give out my matchups every single round. You hit the link below, join the Discord, use code ODT50 for 50% off any package. So make sure you guys sign up for some VIP picks. But we're here every single week, giving you guys free analysis, going through each and every scenario in our heads that we can think of that I think is a good angle here. So with that, let's just go over the course in general and see what type of attributes we should be targeting this week for some players.
So I'll give a little brief overview, kind of how we usually do, but really it's just a couple main points for the Genesis. It's really narrow fairways, tight dog legs, so it's pretty hard to hit fairways out here. I think every year it's bottom 2 fairway driving accuracy. So 75% of approach shots come from 150 and out. So not really wedge necessities this week, more of kind of mid-iron play. With that being said, it kind of slightly favors the longer hitters with great short game. Rewards shot makers who's positioned well. You don't really have, if you're a longer hitter, you don't really have to hit the fairway. So that's kind of why it's advantageous to them. Scramble at a high percentage. The winners we've seen are pretty good at scrambling. There's some tricky greens out there. I think the greens in regulation as well as bottom on tour for this event. So you're going to have to scramble around if you're not hitting fairways. So key stats. The big one I kind of look at, bogey avoidance, is always a huge one. Par 4, 450 to 500. That's kind of where they all fall. And then good drives gained. That kind of factors in everything with good drives. It's not just accuracy or distance. It kind of just factors in everything. And then tee to green, difficult scoring conditions is another good one. And then I kind of just put top 10 event history in here because we kind of say it almost every week at this point, but this one is a big course history. It's kind of where the elite guys rise, just like the waste management. I mean, if you just take a look at the waste management leaderboard last week, a lot of guys were, up there that are elite, except for so Homa's the first guy on here: Cam Young, Hovland, Cantley, Morikawa, Scott, Schauffele, Wyndham Clark, and Zalatoris. So really, Adam Scott's kind of the outlier. I wouldn't call him elite, but he does have great course history here. I think I'm going to stay away because they've kind of priced him a little too much for me this week. But all those other guys are pretty much elite players, who kind of rise to the top here. And we'll get to
Scott's been playing out of his ass early on this season, so he's been playing well.
Yeah.
I mean, plus 2,500 to win outright. I mean, that's
he's
right
crazy.
up there.
That's
he's right up there.
Well. Yeah,
I think it's very, very high too. But he's just been playing very, very well, man. It's been impressive to watch, and he was climbing that leaderboard last week, all weekend long.
Yeah, I was surprised because I faded him. I had Theegala over him, which still ended up hitting. But the weekend he went insane, Scott, because he had the round 3 where he played more than 18 holes, and I think he was like 10 under that day in a round and a half. So he went pretty.
I mean, Scott's course history has been unbelievable here too. You got a 10th, 2nd, 11th, 53rd, 7th, a win, 38th, 4th, 65th. I mean, it's pretty dang. I think it's worthy. I think it's too low, and I agree with you. But if someone dives into it, I think it makes a little bit more sense. But just from the aspect of it, I'm like, I think I'll play him in DFS, but I just don't think I'm going to get there betting wise.
Right. And, DFS 100%. I think for me, it's not like I don't like Adam Scott this week. It's just sometimes where the number is not aligning. For me, I personally can't get to a 25 on him. That's kind of how it is. How I'm treating it. I
mean, currently Adam Scott's the 4th highest golfer odds or 4th highest ownership wise, because he's basically coming in at 8,200 on DraftKings. So that makes it's the best value play, but that is chalk, and it's bad chalk, I think. So if you're going to play him in low risk lineups. Don't play him in high risk, because we want to be a little bit different from the crowd in high risk. So, or if you do play Adam Scott, make sure you play a lower owned guy so you have a little bit more leverage on that particular lineup. But just talking DFS real quick, the highest golfer odds or ownership, you got Scotty at 24%. Then Morikawa, which is a little surprising, but he's at 22. Is it Aberg or Aberg?
I think it's Aubert, actually. Or
Aubert. I can't pronounce nobody's name.
Something like that. It's like And
then Scott, JT, Xander, and then one of the guys that has just been playing very, very well is Sam Burns. What do you think about him this week?
Yeah, I was on him last week for a matchup, and outright I wouldn't even say it was a little disappointing because he didn't really do much on the back 9 at the end. But I can't even lie about it. I'm not the biggest fan, but he's been playing some good golf. So I think he does pretty well here as well. I mean, he usually kind of does well in these type of events. I think he's won it. But I don't know if I'm going to get back to him this week, but I don't mind him.
Yeah, he's intriguing to go to, I think, in my eyes, but I feel like I'm chasing what he's done. And I feel like I've missed out, and it's one of those times where I'm just too late to the party, and I'm just not going to show up. One of those things where, but then if he continues to play well, hell, let's just hit him in some matchups live. That's probably the best way to attack it. But I mean,
I agree.
20-1 to win it. I mean, he's up there. He's up there. It's warranted for sure. But just not a guy.
He should have 2 wins this year, you could say, as well. And he kind of like the American Express. He lost to an amateur. He had that in the bag. He should have won that. And then last week, I mean, he was right there. The waste management. He didn't. He went, I think, even par on the last 6 holes. So I don't know. He'll probably get there again, but that's a negative to it.
All righty. So let's talk some more outrights then. So my first one that comes to mind, and he was the cover boy for a reason, is Victor Hovland. Just took the weekend, took the shit show out of the way last week, so he got focused for it. So you got 2 of those guys up top. You got Xander, or 3 of them. You got Rory, Xander, and Victor Hovland. And I think from those 3, I like Hovland the best to get it done at 14-1. So he'll be on the card for sure. Just overall gameplay, I think if his around the green is anywhere near sharp, I think he can compete for the and win this thing outright. I'm gonna look up his course history. I think he's got.
I have it up, because I was gonna.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna really talk much else about him because you just did, but.
Yeah, he's got a 5th in 21. It's 4th in 22, and then a 20 last year. So I mean, he's right there, and I think this course fits him very, very well from the gameplay and skills aspect of it. So I think taking that week off probably crisp, has a little bit more crisp in his game, and I'm good on Hovland this week. The other one that I'm eyeing, he's right below him, is Patrick Cantlay. I'm hesitant. I'm probably not going to have an outright because he just never wins, but top 10 for sure. I think I gotta bet the top 10 at +170 for Cantlay. And then maybe see what kind of matchups I get, because he always plays well. He just never gets it every single round where he doesn't have that 60 in him, or 61 or 62, but he's got 66 all day long, too. Yeah. So those are my two guys at the top that I'm more than likely targeting. What about you?
Yeah, I was going to talk about Hovland a little bit. It's just like looking at his course history. It's kind of funny because, I mean, you would expect him not to play well here, right? It's like, and I'm looking at the 3 times he's gotten 24th and 5th, he's lost strokes around the greens every single time, and he's got a top 20. So, I mean, I guess his ball striking's just been that elite. I mean, it is elite, but if like he could literally just gain around the greens, he probably could win here this year. So I like him as well. It's kind of just banking on him being like sharp with his irons. It's kind of what you do with Hovland at this point, because the short game, everyone's like, oh, it's so much better. It's not. I took him at Pebble Beach and he chunked like 3 chips. So it's still not there. Like
it's streaky really, as hell, man. It's streaky.
Yeah. So yeah, I like him as well. You already talked about Cantlay, so I won't go too much into him. One guy I'm really eyeing, and I think he's kind of back now. I don't think I'm going to do outright, but the number is kind of there. I was eyeing top 20 at +170, and that's Will Zalatoris. The course history, 4th, 26th, and 15th here. And my main thing is I wanted to watch him after the back surgery. But, I mean, he has a cut 34th and 13th. So every time he's been getting better. The last 3 out. He did look good at the Farmers Insurance. We talked about him that week. We were like, we're going to kind of hold off on him and see. So, I mean, that was good to see that he got a 13th. He kind of hung in there on the weekend and put 4 good rounds together. I mean, here he's another good ball striker. It's just a matter of, if he's kind of found his game again. So I think I might – the price is there for both the 20 and the outright. So
he's 7,900 on DraftKings. 7,900, 16% own. Great value play there. Salary saver. I hope his ownership keeps going down, but I got a feeling everyone's gonna watch this stream and then hype on to the Willie Z train. But I'm all for the Willie Z train. Like you said before, you just had to watch and see. And we were, and I think we bet him like two tournaments ago, and we cashed him. So I'm good with you with Willie Z. Another guy that has been absolutely unbelievable to start the season, faded for me last week, late, even though I took a top 5 on him. But how can you go wrong with JT? The way he's playing, he faded, but I'm still okay with going back to him. He was putting out of his mind the first 2 rounds, and that's why I favored him to continue. But I should have known, putting such a variant thing where you can just not lose it. But he was making 1 putts like crazy, and I just thought his iron game, his irons have always been his bread and butter, basically. And then you get it close enough all the dang time, you're going to have those 1 putts. But for whatever reason, he faded on Sunday, didn't cash for us. But I'm going to go back to him this week for sure. Just the way striking the ball and everything like that. I'm good with going back to the well with JT. If you want to take a top 10 or an outright, I'm good with that.
Yeah, I'll just kind of talk about him as well. I was on him outright last weekend, one and done. It's just, I mean, you talked about it, like he putted really well the first 2 days, and then I just knew going in the weekend. I thought he would have a decent Saturday, which he really didn't. But I knew Sunday he was gonna do nothing like he usually does. I'm not sure like what his deal is when he comes, like when he's at the top. He just doesn't put anything together on the weekend.
He usually has to be at he has to be mid. He's got to be like in the 40 range, and then he'll explode up to top 5.
Yeah, he has to start like 6, 7 back. Like if he's within 3, like it's just like 1 over, even round, does nothing. It's happened so many times. I mean, like he's there. It's just I don't know. I mean, it should be coming soon, but I don't know. But another guy, he hasn't really gotten off to a hot start this year. This is probably the last guy I'll kind of talk about just off the board right now. But he's been decent this year. Max Homa. He's coming off the cut. I faded him last week. I knew he wouldn't do well there, but 66 at Pebble Beach. Farmers, where he usually plays well, 13th, and then the Century, 14th. So, I mean, kind of a mixed bag. But really, if you kind of watch him, he's been struggling a bit with his putting. That's kind of where he's lost a bit, negative the last 2. He's only gained once out of 4 tournaments putting-wise this year. And then honestly, driving actually as well. That's kind of where usually makes his butter with the little butter cut. But you can't really deny a 5th, a win, a 10th, and a 2nd here. And then Homa, California Homa, it's usually an automatic top 20. But, you can't really take his top 20. So I wouldn't mind a top 10 as well here. So,
yeah. And basically, if you heard nothing else besides this part of the stream, then you can turn it off. But basically what I'm going to do top 10 wise, I said this to Teaser right before we got on, but it's basically you bet Xander top 10, you bet Cantlay top 10, and you bet Homa top 10. Take those 3. 2 of the 3 are going to hit because
even
Xander
Hovland
and Cantlay.
Throw in there, yeah.
You can throw Hovland in there, yeah. But throw 4 of those guys. And 3 of those 4 are going to be in the top 10. That's just the way this golf course handles. And these guys are going to compete up there. This is going to be a very, very great tournament to watch come Sunday because the leaderboard is going to be absolutely stacked. So, but if you want some skin in the game, make sure if you don't like the outrights, Xander, Hovland, Cantlay, Homa, take those guys top 10 and you're set. So if you hear nothing else the rest of the stream, that's it.
Yeah, I mean, I think with these tournaments, it's some like even waste management. Like I had Spieth top 20. It's like you don't need there was a couple outliers in there, but if you look at the board, you had JT, Scheffler, Spieth, Burns. That's 4 in the top 10 right there. That's elite guys. So usually with these signature events, it's a lot of the elite guys rise to the top. Not necessarily going to win, but they're going to be up there 20, top 10, something like that. But
all right, so let's talk some sleepers, some long shots for it. If you're playing DFS, if you're gonna have some fun with some sprinkle outrights or some first round leaders if you want to or whatnot. But my first one, who's probably, I guess wouldn't say a sleeper. Let me see what he's a value play this week with his ownership coming in at 14%. But I think a value play here, guy who we were talking about last week briefly, saying, "Oh man, this has got to be his week, right?" Or if we're not talking about him, he's going to go off. And it was Cam Young, and he faded Sunday, but I'm going back to the well here, and hopefully he can just his approach shots get a lot better. His approach shots were so bad, and towards the end of the rounds there, and he just didn't give himself a chance to birdie anything. So I'm hoping for that this week. He's got a second here in 22 where teaser was on him, and then he has a 20 here last week. So if you do want to take a top 20, I'm totally fine with that. I want to say what his number is. Kim, he's plus 120. So plus 120 will probably be on the card for me at that number, and his outright, I believe, is 35 to 1. 35 to 1, and then his DK ownership at 14%. So not a true long shot, but that's a very, very good value play. The other one that's right next to him is Fitzpatrick at 35 to 1. I think he's getting a little bit overlooked. He's actually a sub 10% guy this week in DraftKings. And then the other one, I hate being on this guy because every time I'm on him, he just finds a way. But Jason Day here, 50 to 1. His ownership, I believe, is 6% on DK. And just a guy who's actually played somewhat decent here. Let me see what his actual record is. Just a guy that I think is a little bit lower owned than what he should be. Yeah, he's got a 9th last year here. So a miscut, 64-62. So not the greatest, but he does have a top 10. And that came last year's. And I think he's a lot more healthy. Did take last week off, coming off of I think he had another top 10, at Pebble Beach. So he had top 10 at Pebble Beach. Yeah. So a little bit more healthy. I think he's getting a little bit overlooked. So go back with Jason Day. You got any other long shots to look at?
I mean, we could call Zalatoris 50 to 1. I already talked about him. I don't know. It's Kurt Kitayama 70 to 1. Some reason I can see him. He had a good week last week. I could see him kind of trending this week as well. Just one of those guys you can see going into the weekend close to lead or some random. But you really, I don't know. I just can't really see. I'm sure there'll be one of those guys up there, but I don't know. I think this is kind of going to be more of a stacked leaderboard. I can't really find anyone else I really like to kind of contend, but maybe Eric Cole, I guess. Everyone loves him.
Let me down last week. He let me down.
Yeah, it was, I don't know. Yeah, I think that's about it, really. I mean,
if you want to take a dart throw, someone that just based off someone who played very, very well from Friday to Sunday and can kind of use that momentum, Tom Kim.
Yeah.
Tom Kim at 8,100, 7% owned in DraftKings. I don't know his course. Let me see what I can find here. His course history, but just on pure improvement throughout the week and staying hot, I do like me some Tom Kim this week.
Yeah, he did play well on Saturday. I do remember that. Yep.
He had a 40. He was 45th here last year. 45th. Okay. So not awful. I think the way his ownership's coming in at 7% right now, worth a shot to play that narrative where he gains some momentum moving into this weekend for sure. All right, so let's go finish the show up. Let's just eye up some matchups that we got. We can go over tournament matchups or round one matchups, whichever one stands out. But you got any in mind currently?
My local doesn't have them up yet, but I'll check DraftKings. I'll probably just look at tournament right now.
Let's look at tournaments. Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah. I mean, DraftKings are kind of hard. I mean, I usually I use this for DraftKings a lot because for matchups you can kind of see how the odds are going. So like Fitzpatrick right here is minus 120 over Wyndham for the whole tournament. Makes me think he's a very, very good DFS play this week because people are on him more than Wyndham Clark. He's a little bit heavier favorite there. Yeah.
We got Peyton. What's up, buddy? He says, "Hey guys, any thoughts on one and done?" It's a good call there. Mine is probably going to be Victor Hovland. What's yours, Teaser?
I haven't really locked it in, but I might be leaning with you there. It might be Hovland for me. Actually, I haven't taken him yet, so we'll see. It might be Hovland. Could potentially pivot to somewhere else, but we'll see.
If I had to take, if he was on Hovland, if I had to take somebody else besides Hovland, I would go Cantlay. One of those two.
Yeah, I guess we're in the same boat there.
And then if you don't like either one of those two, you could go Homa. But I think Homa is going to be very, very popular in the one and dones this week, just because of his track record. So I like Hovland the most. Rank it to go Cantlay, and then with the favorite, not the favorite, but probably a guy that's going to lead a lot of one and dones with Homa. So
right,
good question though. Thanks for reminding us. I totally forgot about that. But yeah, so I like that Fitzpatrick minus 120 over Wyndham for the whole tournament. Don't mind that whatsoever.
Yeah, I don't either. I don't really like any on DraftKings right now besides kind of that one. So, I mean, I'll probably check the local. I'll obviously have them out on the card, but none of these are really striking. There's just a couple of elite guys that are matched up with each other that could go either way, and not really much value there. So,
Homa over Morikawa?
Yeah, I mean, it's Morikawa plays well here, so it's like California. He's another California guy, so it's like, I mean, at 110s are pretty fair on that. Hovland over Cantlay, obviously we like that's fair there. Good matchup. Xander over JT.
Two guys that I talked about, Cam Young and Jason Day, are matched up on DK. Cam Young minus 155. That's crazy. Outrageous. Yeah. That's outrageous. So pretty good value there on Jason Day at plus 125.
That is crazy. I was going to say,
but that does lean me to play Cam Young a little bit more in DraftKings, thinking that people are on him a little bit more there for the matchups there. But yeah,
Tom Kim over Fleetwood actually plus 105.
Plus 105. I was looking at that. Yeah,
kind of like that one. Yeah.
What do you think of Theegala this week?
I had him last week. I got my money's worth with him, so I think I'm off him this week. It's like you never know with him, so I don't really like him this week. But
he faded a little bit too much for me. I wanted to see him compete up there, which he did, but he had a couple stretches there and couldn't get it done.
Didn't do much, but had him on the weekend.
All right, so we got some matchups out there for you guys. We got some placements, and then we talk some outright. So if you guys have any additional questions, let us know in the comments. Let us know in the Discord. We will get up on out of here. We appreciate you guys tuning in. If you guys have any further questions, make sure you guys DM us on Twitter at .bets and at BetWithTheBoys. Over on X, I think that's what they're calling it nowadays. So we'll get up on out of here. We'll be back. What's next weekend? I keep forgetting. I only think about one tournament at a time. I'm so locked in. I just cannot think about any other tournament besides this one.
It's not we have a rough stretch. It's the Mexico Open, and then it's the Honda, which is like the Cognizant something Palm Beach thing. Now they had to change that. So that's a decent one, but it's Mexico Open, Honda, and then another Puerto Rico Open. So. Hey,
and then right before we know it, we're going to be talking the Masters, and that's going to be a fun one, obviously. So we're right there. We're almost there. We're getting through the winter cold through the West Coast, and we'll be in Augusta before we know it.
Right.
All right. So appreciate you guys tuning in. Make sure you guys tell your friends, retweet it, post it, put it in any Discord you guys are in. Let's get over 200 plus views one more time, and we'll see you guys next week. Appreciate you guys tuning in. See you.